Joining us now to give us deeper insight is Dr. Robert K. Barney, professor at Western University and an Olympic Games history expert. Sir, welcome to Forum Daily.
Thanks a lot.
Now, in this diplomatic boycott, international governments are refusing to send any government delegates to the Games. So what roles do these officials play when attending the Olympic Games in the first place?
Well, theirs is mostly a ceremonial role. They'll appear at receptions, few little meetings with government officials and Olympic officials, but they're just there for show. Nothing really takes place between them on a grand scale.
All right, sir. Well, the Chinese government is now under the spotlight for its human rights abuses against its Uyghur minority population and its actions in Hong Kong. So how many countries have joined this diplomatic boycott so far, and what message are they trying to send through this?
Well, we only know about half a dozen right now: the UK, Australia, us and Canada, and the United States and Kosovo. A Baltic country is considering it, but that's about the extent of it so far.
And what sort of message do you think this move is sending to the Chinese government?
Well, it's one they're going to largely ignore and press on with business, but it does show the world and shows the Chinese, at least, that the conditions in their country are not being totally not taken care of, not even observed. The world is watching.
All right, sir. And on the other hand, we have the Chinese government saying that this diplomatic boycott is upending the political neutrality of sport. So is this a relevant point within this situation?
Well, it's partially a relevant point, but politics have always played their role in the Olympic Games, including keeping countries out of them. And the one thing that's been learned from these boycotts is that no longer is the world going to tolerate boycotts that sacrifice the athletes' participation in the Games. The world wants to see them participate. The corporate sponsorship levels throughout the world want them to participate. And they're going to participate whether there are diplomatic boycotts or not.
All right, sir. And we know this isn't the first time that a diplomatic boycott has been announced for the Olympics. So take us back to when and why these boycotts were implemented previously.
Well, they date back to 1936, when governments were faced with the prospect of going to support the Hitler Games. Canada's government sent them. They wanted the representation there and ignored what was going on in Germany at that time. The U.S. had a very close vote on whether to support the team financially or not. Not the government, but the sporting federation, and that the umbrella organization that controlled the Olympic participation. And it was a very narrow vote, over 600 votes cast, and it was practically even, only 3 votes deciding in favor of them going or being supported financially. And then in 1980 and 1984, with the tit for tat in the middle of the Cold War between the Soviet Union and the United States, the Jimmy Carter government of the United States rallied a huge number of countries, over 60, 65, I believe, to boycott the Moscow Olympics in 1980, including the athletes. But they had a lot of trouble trying to get the athletes and the United States Olympic Committee to agree to support the boycott. And they bludgeoned them with threats of finances that support the Olympic Committee in the United States, with withholding those. And the same way with Canada. Canada followed the United States' lead with that, and there was pressure brought by financial interest sponsored by the government that said we're going to line up behind the United States in this and not go. And then, of course, in 1980, this was 1984. Rather, the Soviets turned around and with the Soviet bloc, the Eastern European countries, but took them all but one, Romania, out of those games in Los Angeles in 1984. So after that, those were the lessons learned. Those were the big boycotts. There was one with the 76 games in Montreal that deprived about half of the African countries of participating. But nevertheless, those histories showed us that at all costs, the athletes must be served. politics or no politics. And that's why we see the types of Olympics today where there are diplomatic boycotts, but they don't affect the athletes that much.
All right, Dr. Barney, thank you again for your deep insight into Olympic history. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.